Good morning, buenos dias, bonjour, buongiorno, annyeonghaseyo, and in the spirit of being precise with our language learning, aloha kakahakya. That's good morning in Hawaiian. Firstly, just ignore the fact that I've turned back into a teenager for these next couple of days. Let's move past it. Second of all, you will notice in today's vlog that spirits are a little down. Not only has my husband been working 10 to 12-hour days, so he comes home at around 7 to 9 p.m., only having time to have dinner and fall asleep, but we also haven't had our usual time together, which you've probably seen in previous vlogs. We like to spend a lot of time together, talk each other through things, or help each other through something, or support each other. And I truly believe that in our relationship, that mutual support is what helps us move forward in a stress-free way, or at least relatively stress-free, because we're never really stress-free. But at least for me, with the move and the taxes, my classes, students, everything that's about to happen, the fact that my dad lost his mom just this weekend, not having him present to be able to give each other that really solid support that we always provide, it does stink. If you recall, last night he got home at around probably close to 9 or 9-ish, I don't remember, but he only had time again just to have dinner and go to sleep. And this morning we got up between 6 and 6:30, half an hour difference between the two of us. I still didn't have time to talk to him because unfortunately he received a call from his side of the family that he lost a cousin, meaning that in the past 4-5 days we've lost someone on both families. It's not an easy time. As I mentioned on the day when my family lost someone, it's really difficult for military families to be so physically distant during times of hardship and when you really just want to hold someone, even though now COVID won't allow that. But it's different being over the phone or the camera rather than being there and probably helping out the family in some way or trying to help distract the person. I don't know, it's just different and it's challenging. As you can see, he's already left to work, so he didn't even have time to process the news. He got one call right after the other letting him know, hey, your cousin passed away. And as soon as he hung up the phone, he picked up his book bag and he was out the door. I say his book bag like it's school, his backpack, and he was off to work. Today he'll be there for who knows how long, only to come home and probably repeat last night and before yesterday. Which is why I say that spirits are going to be a little low today, but obviously not for our doggies. They never really know what's going on, but they can sense, like yesterday, they can sense when something's off. All we can really do is move on with the day. As you can see, we also have a little bit of a mess in the kitchen, which is why I'm standing here. I thought I would do some dishes while I talk to you, but I just started rambling. I'm gonna deal with this right now and have a little breakfast, some downtime. All my business posts are already up. They're scheduled, so I just checked that everything's okay, answer messages. I did have a customer order that I had to get ready before my husband left, so I already took care of business pretty much. Emails are checked, everything is checked. My dogs ate. I'm about to feed the fish as well. Then it's my class with my two kids at 2 p.m. Nothing to it. Just as I mentioned yesterday, one thing at a time. I just finished processing some cards for my customers' orders, putting all the money where everything belongs, and calculating how much we can help out with for my husband's cousin's funeral. The tricky and complicated situation is that he will actually be adopted by his aunt. So it's not just taking care of funeral costs, it's also helping this mother of 4 adopt a 5th child. So the family is taking into consideration all these factors, donating, or I don't know how you would say aportar, helping out a little more with extra stuff. So we're trying to do the best we can from this end of the hemisphere with everything that is coming around. It is 11:30. I told myself I was going to start preparing for my class at 2 at 11, but just like yesterday, I've already been to the bathroom twice. One was actually a little uncomfortable, and I'm feeling some rumbling going on, which is never good news. So I'm not exactly behind on my schedule, but I'm not where I want to be. I have to call my accountant in about an hour, so that takes a little bit of time off my preparation schedule as well. And I really need to play it safe when I start getting some symptoms. But let's go ahead. I told you, I think it was 2 days ago, that I was going to show you how I do my flashcards for my classes. Again, as I always say, none of this stuff is sponsored. I should probably start getting sponsorships at some point by next year, but these are just things that I enjoy using. They work for me. I get a lot of use out of them, so I want to share them with you. These flashcards I got from Teachers Pay Teachers. Absolutely wonderful website. So much material on there for, I think it's up from pre-kinder to 8th grade, if I'm not mistaken, probably 12th. I haven't looked that far since I only work with pre-K to 2nd, 3rd grade, but they have things like this. This is great quality stuff. And then what I do to make it last and I don't have to print and reprint and waste paper and ink, I take the time to cut these up with my guillotine, which I've had forever. This is probably more than 10 years old. Then I take these laminating pockets. I buy a whole pack on Amazon or Staples, wherever you find them that they're on sale, because I always look for a bargain. And if you've never seen these, this is what it looks like. Instead of, and I learned from my mistakes, which is why I'm sharing this with you so it doesn't happen to you, instead of sticking the whole sheet in here and then cutting it, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna cut right in the middle. The page is gonna be right at the edge of where you're cutting, so it can open up again. You have to cut these first, put them in here, put them through the laminator, and then cut them again. This is the laminator that I'm using, also very old. I've had it, wow, I think since I started teaching in 2008. When you get your laminating pockets, you have to see on the box, I don't have the box here with me, but you have to see on the box if these are 3 mil or 5 mil, because you have to put the setting according to what it is that you're using. I'm going to share with you how I do this. You're going to see it's fairly quick and very effortless. Now that we have a whole stack of these, we can start cutting while these other pockets finish laminating. As you can see, I already have some here ready to go. They can just keep going by themselves, and we can start working on these. I have all the flashcards, and it took about, I'd say 30 minutes to cut, laminate, cut again, and it's all done. Now, as you can see, I just keep everything. This is like the kitchen. As I use things, I try to leave them in bundles that are easy to clean up. So I have all the plastic stuff here, so I don't have any mess to clean up. The laminator is still cooling off. This I just take back to the office along with the other pouches, and I'm all set. Let me show you. As you can see, this is what I was explaining before. When you put the paper in the pouch and then laminate it to then cut it, you're going to be cutting right at the edge of the picture. So the pouch can actually open up by there. So I leave a little border on every edge or every corner. I don't know how you would say this. Not all of the flashcards have the same cuts. They're not equidistant from the picture. As you can see, this one has a thicker border, which I can get later on. Right now, because I'm a little pressed for time, all I did was cut them so they can be usable. But because they're not going to decorate anything, I'm not going to sell them, this is just for my personal use and for my kids to play with, then it really doesn't matter. For my own benefit, because this is where you gotta love the things you have and be grateful for what you can work with, I want to make it as neat as possible to take pride in the fact that, hey, this is ink, paper, laminating pouch, electricity, a laminator that I purchased years ago. It took a lot just to make this flashcard, so I'm going to make it as neat as possible, make it last as long as possible, to use it with as many kids and students as possible. You might be wondering, why not just purchase flashcards? They sell these everywhere. It's more cost efficient for me to have the materials to make these items than to purchase every single item I need separately. If I show, you know what, I'm going to show you. I do have to have lunch and call my accountant in a couple of minutes, but I have a little bit of wiggle room here so I can show you. You saw there that I have some alphabet flashcards with words that start with those letters. You might have also seen in the past that I have individual letters of the alphabet. That one took a while because I had to use scissors to get all the shapes. I also have these because I needed some extra ones for a bulletin board. You can see it has a little hole there where I put the thumbtack in. But I also have things like this. I have emotions that I also printed out, cut, laminated. In this one, I have consonant, vowel, consonant words, sight words, prepositions of place, more prepositions of place, and I'm going to need many other types of flashcards for different topics. Because remember, I'm not an actual grade teacher. I used to teach different age groups. I now teach different levels in school that they need help with only English language acquisition or English language arts or English language learning or English as a second language. If I were to purchase flashcards for all of these things, I would never make any money. I do, however, have things like this. I did purchase this when I used to be a French teacher to teach numbers, and this actually used to belong to my mother. I got this from her, but I laminated them. Things I did invest in were sight words and three-letter words because I wanted something a little more colorful and attractive for the kid to play with. Obviously, these catch the kids' attention because they have aliens and monsters on them, so they're fun. When they're on sale, as you can see, I got these for $2.67 each. I got them for $2.67. When they're on sale, obviously, I'll take advantage of that, but it's really not worth it for me to spend so much on teaching materials. You guys, I had to turn on the camera because, wow, what an unpleasant talk. I was telling my accountant that we're not filing our taxes in Hawaii because the Military Spouse Relief Act tells us that our home of record is where we file our taxes. And he was telling me that that's wrong, that you file your taxes in the state where you're physically at, that you're earning your money. But that's not how it works with the military. And I had this counseling just last year after we filed our taxes and we paid taxes in Hawaii. And this person was telling us, no soldier pays taxes in any state you're at because you're military. You only pay taxes to the state you belong to, your home of record, where you go back when you get out of the military. Because our home of record is Puerto Rico, then we pay taxes to Puerto Rico. He did not agree. He did not like that I was disagreeing. And well, he wasn't in the best mood, but I tried to just breathe deep and move forward, let him do the thing. I mean, I'm not happy right now. And I'm actually a little shaky.
I'm actually a little shaky because I'm not good with confrontation, but I understand that he's very stressed. Here I'm trying to talk myself through it and share some knowledge with you, some empathy, try to teach you empathy. The person who is dealing with our taxes is very stressed. Today's the last day to file taxes. In Puerto Rico, it's currently 6:52 in the evening. So he's kind of trying to deal with all these last minute people, even though you know my situation, why I was last minute and I hated it. I tried to think about how he's just very stressed, and I put my tears back where they belong. I breathed deeply, and after the phone call and everything, he said, okay, I sent you this, you gotta sign it. Okay, here's my link so you can pay me, blah, blah, blah. He was actually back to the very sweet man I know. And I said, definitely stress. And he even said, we'll talk tomorrow about that thing you want to fix about last year's taxes, and we can talk more calmly. And I said, okay, he acknowledges that he's stressed. So I'm just going to sign our taxes now, pay him what he's due, go have my lunch, which is getting cold, and try to get past this moment, because like I said, I am not good with confrontation. It actually gets to me, makes me nervous, and it's just ugh. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you. It was something to experience on a day like this, where we're dealing with 2 deaths in the family and learning that we're moving fairly soon.
I got home about maybe an hour ago. I started binge eating some stuff in the kitchen just for some stress relief. As you can see, I have some popcorn here and I have a little bit of a show. Watch what happens when I accidentally drop some popcorn. I know it seems like torture, but here, look, I'll be nice to her. Suave, Lali, suave. Eso no es suave. Do you see how she eats it? Like it's gonna go away or something. Don't mind the laundry in the background. I haven't gotten to it, but you already know why. Lali. Suave. 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 Muy bien. That was so cute. I started to let my hair down and fix it for the camera, but I figured, you know what? It's supposed to be a transparent vlog of my everyday life, and this is just part of it. So, you know what? I'm not gonna fake it. This is me right now. I'm in my pajamas. Can't show you because I'm not wearing a bra, but I got into my comfy clothes. My very diligent and responsible husband, who got home at around 5:45, took some time to talk to me because he saw I really needed some quality time. Then he told me about his day, and he took his bicycle because there's still daylight out. Took his bicycle to do some exercise. The other one is definitely not going to come back inside. She loves staying outside when it's nice and cool, sun's down, it's really comfortable, so she'll be there for a while. Quite frankly, I do not feel like vlogging, but in an effort to stick to my commitment of showing you my everyday life, I will show you the crummy parts of it as well. Did you see my warmer is on? My house smells fabulous. Anywho, I do feel the effects of everything, you know, 2 losses in the family and the little issue with the accountant today. My student actually had a little bit of a hissy fit today, the first 15 minutes, so it was a little difficult to get started today. I just worked with the little one, the 4-year-old, until the 5-year-old was ready to join us. That's always a little emotionally draining, because I do believe it is true that whatever energies you have, you transfer to those around you. So I was trying not to transfer all my frustrations of the day to this child who was already pretty distraught because he couldn't play with his iPad. I tried to remain calm, talk to him in a soothing tone. I understand you're not happy right now because you're not doing what you want to do, but if you want to play with us, you're more than welcome to whenever you're ready. If not, you have to sit quietly in a corner so that we can focus on what we're doing. That little bit of compassion right there is already so emotionally draining. And I know teachers out there are probably saying, what are you complaining about? You were just there for an hour while I'm at work 8 to 3 or 8 to 2:30 or sometimes even 8 to 4. Listen, I already did this. I already did the 8 to 9 p.m. schedule when I was working 2 part-time jobs and was in school. It's draining for me because everything else that happened in the day is my equivalent of being in school all day. So it is draining. The fish are sleeping, and I don't know if you can tell, the clownfish are right there, so I heard something plops. Since we do have a jumper right here, our little diamond goby, he is a jumper fish, so whenever I hear a splash, I check out just in case. I'm just gonna work on the computer until my husband comes back from his bike ride. Then we're gonna do our Taco Tuesday, which we did not have yesterday. We're gonna have a Taco Wednesday, unwind with a little TV. Currently, we are watching Dark. I don't know if you're watching it, but we find it very mind-boggling and puzzling. I do not have the right words for it, but if you watched Inception, something like that. It really makes you think, and then you start talking about time travel theories. It's fun. We enjoy that show. We watch one episode before bed. That's all we need. I know it's not the same as a deployment, but still, a week without him. It's always hard to let him go for more than 48 hours when he has that duty here. Sorry I didn't get to show you the post office, but it was actually packed. I need a break. I need a mental, spiritual, emotional break. This weekend I'm just going to dedicate it to replenishing my batteries, recharging, you know? I know I'm not setting the best example, but I'm cutting myself some slack.